What's up guys, it's Get Ready to Battle, and welcome to the first part of a multi-part series of me trying to go over everything in the Rift, area by area, and teach you how to complete everything. As a warning, I have already completed the areas, so I can't show you as detailed as if you would, but I will try my best. First step, when you first enter the Rift, you will be able to speak to the Wizard but Weird. He will take you along a path. If you follow the path, you will return back to the Wizard Tower. Then the place opens up more. Learning about the Rift step by step with area by area is going to be especially important because almost every single item's next upgrade needs the previous item as a recipe component. There's about, say, 10 swords, and all of them need the earlier sword to get them. So it's best to explain in order how each item is gotten. First step, when you first appear here, you have 8 minutes of time left. Every time you take damage, every time you breathe, every time you exist, you lose time. If you run out of time, you return back home. So you want to make most use out of your time. A good way to do that is learn guides or learn what you need to do within the Wizard Tower where time doesn't, or where you don't lose time, unlike outside. Or say doing it back at the other location. So now we shall go step by step through the Rift Guide. Once you return here after doing the breadcrumbs, he will be able to tell you about the Rift Guide with area by area. Step 1. Craft the crux talisman. Now actually you shouldn't be doing them exactly in order because some of these will be easier to get beforehand. Over here we have Enigma, who randomly teleports inside this entire area known as Enigma's crib. If you talk to him for the first time, you will now be allowed to grab Enigma souls. As you see, he kept teleporting around if you don't look at him. He's running around everywhere. When you get an Enigma soul, you get 20 seconds permanently added. Every single time you return, you will have 20 seconds added for each unique Enigma soul you get. Now you can only get each one time, such as I can't get this one anymore. Most Enigma souls have a fancier way to go through them. I'm going to try to do the Enigma souls at the end, but I will talk about it over there. Once you first get here, there will be Enigma who has a cloak. You can buy the Enigma cloak from Enigma for only 100 motes, which is relatively easy to get. I believe you can get that from just killing one shy, which is the natural mob of this area. Ignore all the wolves that you can see on screen. I could be wrong with, let me check. Yes, you do get 100 motes for every single shy you kill. And those are having the cloak itself, which in my case is this Enigma cloak. This is the item that gives you the 20 rift time every single time that you get an Enigma soul. This is the one that actually synergizes with doing Enigma souls. Now, almost all Enigma souls have you do some sort of special thing to unlock them. This is just one that's hanging out in the open that happens to be very visible. For now, let's teach how to kill a shy, such as this shy. This shy right here has 110 health. He hurts you in terms of when you get hurt, you lose seconds of time. I don't think I can demonstrate it without being hurt a lot. You can weaken him by punching him or also having a weapon. We can do a weapon later because currently the weapons aren't insanely impressive. If you weaken him to about half health, they will have text above his head, such as you saw here. He will then explode, causing you to lose an entire minute if you're still staring at him. The way to counter that is to stare away from him. So you weaken him down to half health. Then you turn away, wait for the explosion, and kill him. And then you kill them. Once you do that, you will get 100 motes and exactly 1 shy crux. Later items let you get more shy crux, which is why I will be showing off more than I'm getting 1. These shy cruxes can be crafted into the crux talisman, which will give you 10 seconds of rift time. It will also have a milestone that you can use as you kill more shies up to a maximum of 100 shies killed. Each milestone gets you 5 more rift time and 5 crux fortune. Cruxes are a repeatable mob that are different types in different areas, such as shy in this area. The rest that you can see on screen would be other areas that you don't have to worry about until now. That is the strategy to kill shies. When you normally punch them, you deal 20 damage. So you punch them for 3 times, and then after their attack, you punch them for 3. Notably, also once they turn red, then they start hurting you. And here they do not hurt, other than there was a big explosion. where you lose an entire minute. But now they're red, they can start running at you and make you lose health. In this case not, maybe I just put them in the corner. But usually they do that. With reference of this being the wizard tower, this being the main walkway, there are 3 large trees that you can climb, with this large tree, and this large tree. Up in the branches connecting all the trees together is where most of the gear and sword that you will need for this area are. In the southmost tree, on the bottom floor, there is this trader. He lets you be able to buy a sword. It's only 2 damage, bringing you up from 20 to 22, but it makes it so it only goes 5 hits to kill a shy instead of 6, which is going to be very useful. It's 333 motes and 3 shy cruxes to buy. You should try to buy this because it will speed up the rest of your grinding. Correction, they are at the bottom of every single tree. Any of the 3 trees in the bottom will have a trader to be able to sell a spare sword. As you see, I am now in the tree that's closest to the wizard tower. With that previously, I personally bought mine over there when I was trying to just explore every single location. I'm now surprised how I didn't see it the first time. Higher up in the tree close to the wizard tower, there will be this trader at about elevation 90. He will sell you some pants that will give you 15 seconds of additional rift time. That will cost 100 motes, which is effectively 10 shy kills. For showcase, we are now at the bottom of the far tree, with this being the trader that also sells you the same weapon as all the other 3. In the far tree, as in farthest away from the wizard tower, at around elevation 84, in this room, up these stairs, there will be a trader that lets you sell the boots. These are much cheaper than the rest, costing only 50 motes. At being the same quality, it's very good idea to buy this early, or at least buy it as you go up this tree to also buy the chest plate. I forgot to say, but all 3 of the trees have spiral staircases surrounding the tree itself. So when you go around it, you will go all the way around the tree. But somewhat near the top of the far tree, there will be this trader that sells the Rift chest plate. Or it's not called that, it is called the Wyld chain top, which also gives you 15 seconds along with the other 2, but this one costs 2,000 motes. So maybe delay on doing it, or wait till you have 2,050 and buy these 2 as you climb at once. Still in the far tree, once you get almost to the very top, within these 2 sets of houses, there is another trader. This one lets you buy the helmet. Now the helmet is stronger than the rest of the gear, so it might be better to buy, at least better than the chest plate. It's still probably worse than the boots because the boots are so cheap. But the helmet gives 15 seconds of rip time, along with 10 intelligence, and you gain additional time when you kill a monster. Notably, they do already grant time on death, but additional time is very useful. This won't make you go positive in time, but it will reduce how much you lose in time. Someone else who's important to talk to early, with this being close tree, this being long tree, I didn't have a name for this tree, with that being the wizard tower, past the bartending location, we have this ruined location that doesn't have any use in the real world, but it has Portal here. If you talk to Portal, you can talk to Portal. Portal will tell you about all their eyes. Their eyes are in certain locations, with notably one in every single area that you can access, or at least almost every single area that you can access. But the problem is those conditions, they will have the words condition, all mines say calm. Those conditions will be rogue. What you have to do is kill those eyes to be able to unlock them. You will get permanent rift time for doing so, and the ability to teleport to them by talking to one eye, meaning that you can then be able to access future areas. Well, you access future areas by walking to them, but you save time teleporting, save time by not having to walk there, save time by having discounts with other time purchases, at the cost of them also attacking you when you attack them, causing you to lose some time. Doing this early will be useful because there is one that is inside the wizard tower. If you click him, you teleport to this wizard tower. And somewhat downstairs, on this floor, we have this eye. He has 300 health. It will say above him how much damage he does. He does 5 damage every second, attacking you twice a second. You cannot easily just dodge him by walking around him, so it's better to just try to brute force and make sure you do hit him every single time to try to reduce how much time you lose. And this early will be useful, but probably not as useful as getting the armor or getting rift souls that I'm saving till the end of this video. As a reminder, because I don't know where else I can put this, there are these 2x2 slime blocks. If you next to each individual tree, one here, one next to the close tree over there. Well, I'm at the far tree, and the other tree also has one, but this one's closer. It's just currently obscured by the wall. If you go on them, you will jump up really high, meaning you can easily access the area on top of the trees without having to climb all the way up. Doing that will be faster for you. Either way, once you get to this part on the far tree, if you walk over here, there will be this NPC, Sad Jaquil. Sad Jaquil will tell you about her cat who has gone missing, and you have to try to find him. You will also be given this dead cat detector, or it might be called something before you find out they're dead. So it's actually the cat detector. When you first get it, you will be trying to find their cat who has gone missing. It costs 100 mana and has a cooldown, but also if you are not in the area of the cat at all, then it won't make any noise. So it can be helpful if I just show you where it is. On the close tree, near the bottom, it's in the tree. With this being the close tree, if you walk in here, here's the cat that you will find. This is when you find out it's actually a piece of the cat instead of the entire cat itself. This is somewhat dangerous. Or not dangerous, that's a wrong word. If you return to her and you tell her about the cat, this will change into a dead cat detector and you'll be allowed to keep the cat as you try to find the other pieces, because that was only one piece. Each piece gives you 15 seconds of rift time, and once you hit 5 pieces, then each piece also gets the additional ability to regen 2 mana faster. Now, still within the woods, there is an additional room in the close tree. If you go up top, you will eventually reach this NPC. This NPC will teach you the ways to collect the silk that is of these creatures, along with a bottled version of these flying creatures. I forgot both their names. You can take the silk from these larvae before they hatch, along with you also being able to put these odonata. Where are they? Here's one odonata. You can put that in a bottle. Those are the 2 additional resources that you get in this area. By talking to him, he will tell you, hey, go get a certain lava hook from him. You will have to spend 6 shy cruxes to buy one, and these break after 8 uses. So you will have wanted to at least farm shies at least to 50, maybe 100, and get it all out of the way before doing this. Once you have bought a lava hook from them, you will show it to a bugs hunter, who would then tell you, hey, go get 1 lava silk. To do that, you will go up to random larvae, which are everywhere. One here, one here. I did not mean to fall. Be careful that you don't fall like an idiot in this area. But there's larvae here, there's larvae there, larvae there, larvae there, larvae there. They're everywhere. It's not like there's a rare location. They're just anywhere in these higher up trees. If you click them 3 times, they will die. You will use 1 durability on your larva hook, and you will get 1 larva silk. Once you've brought 1, come back, show it to him. He will tell you to go get 6. Once you go out and get 6, take it back to him, and he will tell you it's time to go get bottled odonata. To get an empty bottle to put them in, you will talk to the bug shopper here, and you will buy an empty bottle for 2 shy crux and 400 motes, which is about 4 shy crux kills. Once you do that, to actually get the odonata bottles, you will need to first find an odonata, which is there. You also need to figure out a line that intersects them. In this case, you'll need to use 2 lava silk. I'll put 1 on this corner. I will run over to that corner. Once you use it at both corners, it will create this bridge type thing. You will take this silk wire stick that's given to you after you collect 6. You'll click underneath it, and you are now attached to the silk. You can left click while holding it to move along the way. If you left click all the way, you will hop off of the rail. You can also shift to hop off of it, but you will fall immediately where you are. To actually get the odonata, you will hold the bottle while looking at him, being really close. It will show up in chat that you were holding, and also make a certain sound effect. And then you have the bottle of odonata. Look, it's in there. You can see it. It's cute. This looks like an experience potion. If you stay hanging for too long, the wire will lose tension and eventually stop working. For example, I will now have it happen to me. Here you go. Luckily, I fell on here. As an additional note, especially in this area, it's very useful, there is no fall damage. If I'm all the way up here and I jump off and I don't care about how I fall, there is no penalties. The only penalty is it takes longer to climb back up. Okay, actually I don't know where the jump pad is for this tree. Let me look to see. Here it is. Here is the jump pad, which you will see as you walk past here. There is also this NPC, which matters a bit. I try not to go over it because I do not believe you need his resources. They just help. You can sell items to him, and he will give you motes for those items, such as you could sell your extra shy cruxes. But I do not think you need to do that, at least not early on, especially if you're trying to actually complete your crux talisman, or whatever it was called. Once you bring back your bottled otonada to him, he will tell you to go get 8. Once you go get 8 bottled otonadas through doing the process that I've shown you, but multiple times, which will take at least 16 string, which means at least 8 bottles, which means at least 14 shy cruxes from buying this, and at least 12 from buying these, not counting any extras that you have to use, such as for other resources. Then you will be able to get the item you will get the safety belt, which I do not have the original safety belt on me. I haven't upgraded one, because you also upgrade those. This safety belt has 3 effects. It gives you 60 seconds of rift time, it gives you 2 more speed, and it makes monster melee attacks deal 1 less rift time damage to you, which is very helpful. You'll want to keep that around. Not only is it beneficial, but it is also upgraded into other versions of it. There are none of these equipment that you get and do not actually want to keep. So you will want to keep everything you get. Worst case scenario, you do have rift storage, and I believe you get both chests of it the entire time. I could be wrong about that. There is also, back at the bug shopper, there is a talisman or an accessory you can buy. Now there isn't an accessory bag, so you just have to keep them in your inventory in the same way I'm doing. And you will get this harmonious surgery toolkit. Gives you 10 rift time, 2 speed, and if you touch a larva which another player touched, you will both gain 1 lava silk once it's harvested. Which doesn't help as much because you only need like 3 hits to get a lava silk, so you need to go out of your way. But there are a bunch of these features like this that benefit you for working together with someone else, especially in other areas which are more required, or even in the enigma souls, which are very required. And now it's time for probably the most important of main guide goal in this section. That is the one that lets you actually access the next section. It is talking to inverted Cerberus back here. Now to do inverted Cerberus, he will say, hey, I found a way to get things in and out of the rift dimension, which will be through this ender chest. To do that, you have to go get him a stability elixir. Luckily right next door to the place where the inverted Cyrus is, there is the bartender's place, who's called Shifted here. I'm assuming the other place is called Shifty. Also he has a skeleton. If you talk to him, then in his menu he will have 3 separate items. You can either get a potion that gives you speed 1 for 5 minutes at the cost of 5 shy cruxes or 10,000 motes. There is a jump elixir, gives you jump 1 for 20 seconds for the same price but 5,000 motes. Or strength 3, or strength, which gives you 3 more rift damage for 12,000 motes at the same cruxes. I personally haven't bought them, so I didn't think to tell them about it until now. But there is also an additional item right here, which is the stability elixir, which you can buy. Unfortunately, you try to buy it, and it doesn't work. You have to buy a tip from him to figure out who knows it, and that will cost 20 motes. Now, unfortunately, when he tells you who to talk to, they will also direct it to someone else who says who to talk to, and it will repeat the cycle throughout most of the people in the bar until they eventually tell you to go somewhere else. Each time it costs 20 motes to get a tip, so save up about maybe 200 motes, just so you can actually get through all of them. Then they will tell you to actually go to a certain person who is good at alchemy. And back up in the trees, in the far tree, with there being the bartender's house, there is a person, an NPC that I did not mention, because outside of this he has no use. There is the serial bather. If you talk to him after going through the chain, which is only 8 people, so you only need 160 motes, then you can buy a stability elixir, which will cost 1 shy crux. A pretty cheap cost, all things considered. Once you do that, you can then go back to the dark auction person, Inverted Cyrus. Once you give it to Inverted Cyrus, then he will give you a special item that in the rift has no use, but it has special text underneath it. For example, this one has the same special text, rift transferable, which means it's able to be transferred in and out of the rift. That item has a good NPC sell price. You can sell this item, known as doubloon of the family, for 100,000 coins to any merchant. Or you could keep it as a collectible, because you don't need 100,000 coins. That's up for you to decide. But once you do that, then the Inverted Cirrus quest is done, and you will be able to access the Deep Lagoon. Now, the Deep Lagoon is off across this bridge, technically across this big river, and there's even ways to get up there because through the other doorway of the Wizard's Tower. With this being the Wizard Tower and these being the trees, if you go across here, you've done the Cirrus quest, and you spend 4 minutes, which I've accidentally spent while I was setting up this. Then you will enter into a new area, which is over here. It costs you 4 minutes every time you want to enter for the first time each run. So if you go back to the hub and then come back to the rift, it will cost another 4 minutes. You won't be able to just get free access to this area. But we're not actually done with the previous area. We can still get all the rift souls. Notably, before doing all the rift souls, we've now completed Wyld armor, and getting sword, get the enigma cloak, talk to portal, talk to sad Jaquiz and get the pet, get first shard, get the intruder eye, get inverted Cirrus, help out the bug hunter, and craft the crux talisman. What we haven't done is actually help Reed's boat. For this one needs 16 string, but we can't actually access it until we are inside of the Deep Lagoon. We have to do quests in there to actually access the place where we can complete this, so this is not complete yet. On top of that, there is Montezuma's second fragment, which is inside of the Rift Gallery, which we do not access until we complete something in the Deep Lagoon. Am I calling it the right thing? Correction, I've been calling this the Deep Lagoon the entire time. It is not the Deep Lagoon, it is the Black Lagoon, even though it is very much blue, much because there's black obsidian at the bottom. To get the first Rift Soul known as Tough Bark, on this section, along this whole awning, there are these barking wolves. These mobs drop a bit of tough bark. To actually fight the wolf, you go attack them, but they also give a bark attack at you, sending an animated version of the word bark. You lose 2 seconds every time you get hit by one of those. Every time you kill one, you get a muted bark. Once you get 20 of those, you can go up to this door, and you can knock on the wood. So once it actually works, then this spot will open, it will reveal a Rift Soul, and you can claim that for 20 additional seconds. This is also the area I mentioned when I said the extra way to leave the Wizard Tower. As an additional note, this NPC does not have use in this section, but in the future section it will have use. You don't need to know that it exists, but it will help explain what's going on, that he is a Superman parody. And you just scream, "Help Wizard Man," to make him appear. Assuming he's not busy. But if you do scream his name, "Sorry, little fella, I'm busy right now," and it gives you even an achievement for have him decide not to help you. Ignore the fact that this is the first time I did that. Rift Soul number 2, Wood's Flower Pot, with here being the Dark Auction, there being the Wizard Tower, with here being the main path, also here being an NPC. There is this flower pot. If you right click it, another flower pot appears. If you right click it, another one appears. You will follow this long chain of flower pots all the way this way. You can do this with normal parkour, but it does take some time, especially since it also takes time to come back to the normal area. Here is a flower pot all the way over here. You can swim in the water and there is no penalty, but this is using pre-1 point whenever the swimming update was, meaning you have to go slow. So be careful about sprinting in the water. Place here, and the flower goes all the way down there too. Right click, and it will reveal this Rift Soul, or this Enigma Soul, giving you an additional 20 seconds, but now you have to walk all the way back. Now you can keep going further. There is an NPC that will just take you back, but there's nothing else out here. If you do actually end up coming out here though, there is this Unbound Explorer. I've traveled this far, and there's nothing here. Teleport back. Because you did not actually need to go that far. Once you're back here, you can continue on with the previous activities. But I'm realizing there is a major thing that I just haven't actually mentioned yet. These are orbs that are just floating everywhere with all these pretty colors. If you pick them up, you will get 25 motes and 2 additional seconds of rift time. This is one of the ways that you can at least maintain where you are. Unfortunately, it's so small that usually the time to actually pick one up will take longer. Now these orbs spawn everywhere, except exactly in Enigma's Cove, where instead of giving you all these useful things, they only give you 10 motes and no rift time. I do not know why, but maybe it's because it's too close to the rift tower. Rift soul number 3, up in the sky. Have I been calling them rift souls the entire time instead of enigma souls? You have these 2 rabbits here. They are debating on how they can jump high enough to manage to pick up this rift soul very high in the sky. The way to get this one is you stand on this pressure plate, and it will send you really high up, so you just right click it as you're underneath it, and you get that enigma soul. Then they will have additional text saying you're high. For relation, here is the bartending place, here is the portal's fallen area, with here being far tree and unnamed tree, and that being close tree. Rift soul number 4, next to Enigma. It is the one that's out in the open after you got the Enigma's cloak. It's very easy to grab, you just come up and right click it, and then you have the Enigma soul. There's no big loss that you have for getting this Enigma soul. You just get it. If you didn't get it already, I'm surprised. Enigma soul number 5, follow the flea spook. There's a flea spook around this area, or maybe I think he's actually on the ground there, and he hops up to this area, and then you follow him through the trees. You will be doing parkour on the trees, trying to get to different locations, using only your pure wits to get across different locations. You will come up close to him, and he will get even further away. Once you eventually get far enough away, once he eventually gets to a certain location, he will reveal an Enigma soul where he is. The eventual end goal is next to the wall. Once you reach the wall, the flea spook will present the Enigma soul, which you can just right click. This being the river tower. You will also need to follow his path to make him actually appear here though. So you will need to jump along multiple trees that I cannot unfortunately show. Enigma soul number 6, pressurized. There is one under the pressurized water in the Riftwoods Lake, but how to get it? Over here, there is water, but unfortunately, there's a lot of pressure, so you can't actually swim down. So how do you do that? Well, if you come back to where the Sag Requirel is, with here being the wizard tower and here being the 2 structures, and there being the lake, you can do a mini dropper to drop down into the water. You just have to make sure you don't land in between, and also if you don't jump high enough, it won't actually work. But if you drop from the middle area, it will be a lot easier, so you can also do that. You will appear in this fallen area, and you can get the Enigma soul very easily. To get out, you can simply swim up, and the pressurized air will carry you the rest of the way. As an additional note, when you actually do run out of time, the rift is closing. You only have 10 seconds left before you are sent back to the wizard in the Skyblock Hub, and then you get sent out to the wizard in the Skyblock Hub. You will end up using one of your dimensional infusions, but there's a fun way to get back dimensional infusions. If the lobby closes while you're in it, such as it's performing a reboot, you get back your infusion. Now, it only really matters if you don't want to spend another 4 hours to wait for it, but, it depends. Enigma soul number 7, between branches. An Enigma soul is chilling mid-air, somewhere between branches in the Wyld Woods. Well, it's right here. With this being the far tree over there, with its buildings, this being the close tree, even higher up than the buildings. Inside the glass, there is this Enigma soul. The question is, how do you actually access it? Well, you can do the same thing you did for the bottle of Otanada. You place a lava soak on either side, use the fact that a line has formed, take your silkwire soak to move forward, and then you can punch it with your fist. Once it breaks, the Enigma soul stays floating there, so you can now right-click and get the Enigma soul. Notably, this is what the rift area looks like for the second area. It will show rift area, black lagoon, costs 4 minutes rift time to enter, or if you haven't actually completed it, it will say require to complete the previous thing, such as getting the previous time charm. And if you get closer, then there will be, let me see if I can get it to show up, this. This one still stays standard, but there is also one no matter where you try to enter, so you can't just jump the water to actually sneak in. Enigma soul number 8, 2 plates. Enigma soul is locked in glass, need 2 players. For this, when you come to the bridge that has the rift area black lagoon, you will need to have someone else stand on one pressure plate as you stand on one to open the glass to be able to right click this. To actually get the second person, you can just type in chat and ask for someone to come and help you. It's very likely that someone actually does come, since it's not too much of a task for some people. Then if someone doesn't come, you can just wait. Or, worst case scenario, you can join a Discord that has a bunch of people who play Skyblock and just ask one of them, hey, are you using your rift things? Can you come here and help me? and then they might help. Enigma Soul number 9, Wither Cage. There's an Enigma Soul hiding in plain sight near Portal. If you come to Portal, there are a bunch of these wither skulls sticking out the ground. They will tell you a bit of lore of the game, but if you come further across, there will be one next to a branch tree. If you right click this one, you investigate, your soul will start showing a bit in the tree that will reveal an Enigma Soul. Once you get that, you now have the 9th Enigma Soul. And that is all of the items that you can get within the first section. Technically there is more you can get, such as you can get this Enigma Soul that is technically classified as in the Black Lagoon. You talk to Telkar, he just talks for about 2.5 minutes, so it will consume about 2.5 minutes of your time, but once you do that, you will get another Enigma Soul that happens to be right here. As a final note, some items are Rift transferable, so you can transfer them back and forth, such as the item that sells for 100,000, but there's also items you can bring inside that will help you out. So in this case, I've brought Scarf's Thesis. Scarf Studies, Thesis, and Grimoire are a cycle of 3 that increase by combining 4 of them. Studies gives you 10 seconds, Thesis gives you 11, and Grimoire gives you 12. So personally, I think that the 10 seconds is worth it, especially since you can transfer it out. Or if you're an Iron Man like me, you can use part of what you're crafting on a Grimoire and bring it into here, especially since you will need a Studies in the future for a different equipment. Once you've completed everything, you should have 12 minutes and 35 seconds total time once you enter. Notably, your time only matters when you first join, so you need to be prepared in case you do anything that would make you lose time, such as switching helmets or taking off equipment. You have to make sure you put equipment back on, or else things will be worse for you. It's 12:35, assuming you didn't talk to Telkar. If you did, it'd be 12:55. Assuming my math is right, and you haven't done either of the 2 things that are in this section that you cannot do yet. Once you've done that, you are now prepared to truly enter the Rift area Black Lagoon. You will need 4 minutes each time. Once you do that, you will be ready. So I'll see you all next time in part 2, where we explore the Black Lagoon. Bye!